Have you ever read a book that has sold millions of copies worldwide and is revered by countless people as a true guide to life? The Surrender X, My Journey into Life's Perfection, a biographical spiritual book written by Michael A. Singer, is not empty feel-good talk. It is an astonishing experiment verified by his more than 40 years of real life. What happens when you completely let go of the insistence of "I want it this way" and allow life itself to take the lead? Why do so many people finish reading it and say, "I finally feel free"? Today, let's step into this work together and witness how surrender transforms the prison of fear into the key that unlocks a perfect life. Chapter 1. The Whisper of Awakening. Where did that voice come from? It all began one winter day on a couch. That was the winter of 1970. While Michael A. Singer was casually chatting with his friend Ronnie, he suddenly became aware of a voice in his head that never stopped talking. It was constantly commenting, judging, and worrying, as if a little theater inside him was playing nonstop. For the first time, he asked himself, "Who is this voice? Who is it talking to?" In that moment, he realized he was not the voice, he was the one who could watch the voice. That sense of separation struck like lightning, illuminating the chaos within. Most people spend their entire lives being controlled by this voice. It tells you you're not good enough. People will laugh at you. You must control everything to be safe. But Singer chose not to fight it. Instead, he simply observed it quietly. At first, this observation brought unease because the voice protested being seen. But gradually, he discovered that if he didn't feed it, it grew quiet. This was the starting point of awakening, realizing that the mind is not the master, it is only a passing guest. Why is this realization so important for ordinary people? Because nearly all of our daily anxiety, anger, and inner conflict comes from the nonsense this voice spouts. Learning to watch it is like getting a remote control you can press mute anytime. Singer described it as sitting on the riverbank watching the water flow by, instead of jumping in and being swept away. An ordinary office worker may not have time for long retreats, but even 5 minutes after work, simply closing the eyes and noticing the breath while thoughts come and go can give you a taste of peace. This is not escaping reality. It is facing reality with clear, awake eyes. Let's go a little deeper. This inner voice is actually the mind's protection mechanism. From childhood, it has collected countless lessons to warn you ahead of time and avoid pain. But it often overreacts, projecting past hurts onto the future and turning small discomforts into catastrophes. Singer found that when you simply watch without getting involved, it loses its power. It's like an actor on stage. If the audience doesn't clap or boo, the performance naturally stops. Picture this scene. You're in a meeting and your boss suddenly criticizes your proposal. The mind instantly jumps in. "He's targeting me. I'm finished. I have to be perfect next time." If you follow that voice, anxiety snowballs. But if you just observe, "Oh, there's that voice again. It's afraid of being rejected," then gently bring your attention back to your breath and back to the actual meeting. relevant content, you'll notice the physical tension fades significantly in just a few seconds, and the mind quiets down. After the meeting, you can even think more clearly about improvements instead of spiraling into self-blame. This process takes practice. Singer suggests starting with the smallest disturbances. For example, when you're scrolling on your phone and see someone posting their perfect life and jealousy arises, or when someone cuts in line at the coffee shop and irritation bubbles up. At those moments, don't rush to fight back or suppress it. First pause, notice where your body tightens, notice what the thoughts are saying. Simple awareness alone often reduces the emotional intensity by more than half. Over time, you'll be less and less hijacked by emotions, and life will feel like it has an extra buffer zone. Going further, awakening is not just watching. It eventually includes appreciating how absurd the voice can be. Sometimes it acts like a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum, sometimes like a pompous old professor lecturing endlessly. Singer said that when you can look at it with a touch of humor, true surrender begins. Because you no longer treat it as an enemy, you treat it as an amusing companion. In that moment, the inner war ends and peace naturally arrives. Chapter 2. The Rules of Surrender. I decided to let life take the wheel. After awakening, Singer did not stop at merely knowing. He asked himself a bold, what would happen if I completely stopped resisting and let life unfold naturally? So he set a simple yet radical experiment rule. Whatever life brings me, I will treat it as a gift meant to take me beyond my limited self. Things I like, I won't resist them. Things I don't like, I won't reject them. To everything, I say yes. At first, this sounded insane. Who wants to accept things they hate? But Singer discovered that resistance only creates inner suffering. It's like hating the rain, it still falls. But if you accept it and open your umbrella, most of the misery disappears. He called this no resistance. Not passivity, but actively aligning with the flow of life. Here is a real example from his life. Singer was pursuing a PhD in economics and faced the final 3 exams. His instinct was to run away. He felt completely unprepared. But the voice of surrender said, do it. So he went. Before the exam, he casually flipped through his book 3 times at random, and each time it opened exactly to the topics that appeared on the test. He passed with ease. This was not mere coincidence. When you stop resisting, life often provides unexpected support. Ordinary people can start practicing with small things. When stuck in traffic, don't curse, breathe deeply and say, here we go. When the boss suddenly piles on more work, don't complain, dive in fully. Gradually you will notice, the less you resist, the more energy you have. The rules of surrender are actually very concrete. Singer summarized them in one sentence. Say yes to life. Then give your maximum effort to whatever is right in front of you. It is not about doing nothing. It is about removing the obsession of I want it this way and leaving only what can I do right now. The difference is enormous. Doing things while clinging creates the feeling of pushing a car with the brakes still on. Doing things without clinging feels like pushing downstream, effortless and highly effective. Consider a common example. You planned a weekend hike, but it pours rain. The usual reaction: disappointment, complaining, replanning, hours of inner turmoil. The surrender reaction: oh, rain has come. Then today I'll do something else at home. Perhaps you suddenly feel like organizing your bookshelf. Discover a long-forgotten book. Read it. Get inspired. And finally write that article you hadn't touched in years. Or maybe you decide to clean the house, donate old clothes, and during the process receive a surprise call from an old friend you haven't spoken to in ages. Life opens another door the moment you say yes. Many people worrying that surrender will make them lazy. Actually, the opposite is true. Surrender demands full engagement with the present moment instead of wasting half your energy protesting and the other half acting. When you truly drop "I don't want this," all your energy focuses on the task at hand. Efficiency often doubles. Singer's later business success owed much to this. He never wasted time complaining or regretting. He used every moment to create. There is an even deeper layer. Surrender is not compromise with bad things. It is trust in the whole of life. You believe life has greater intelligence. It knows what is best for you, even when it looks like setback, loss, or embarrassment right now. Just as a seed must be buried in dark soil to sprout, just as a butterfly must struggle inside the cocoon to grow wings. Resisting those processes only prolongs pain. Accepting them accelerates growth. Surrender has another hidden benefit. It greatly amplifies your intuition. When the mind's nose no longer drowns everything out, the quiet voice of intuition becomes clear and audible. It is a calm, certain knowing without emotional charge, yet extremely reliable. During his experiment, Singer repeatedly experienced this. When he fully surrendered, a clear inner guidance would suddenly appear. Go see this person, write this code, teach this class. He didn't analyze why, he simply followed. Every time he followed, remarkable unfoldings occurred. Ordinary people can also cultivate this intuition. The method is simple. Before making a decision, pause for 1 minute and ask, what do I feel inside right now? If there were no fear and no expectation, what would I choose? The answer is often far more accurate than the mind's long-winded analysis. Many people later regret not listening to that inner voice. That quiet knowing is surrender quietly guiding you. Chapter 3: From Solitude to Service, How the Temple Appeared by Itself. For years, Singer's surrender experiment led him to want nothing more than solitary meditation in the woods forever. But life had other plans. In 1975, people seeking spiritual guidance began finding him and asking him to teach. At first he refused. I just want silence. But inside came a clear yes. So he began giving weekly talks. The numbers grew. Eventually, a group of people came together in Alachua, Florida, and built the Temple of the Universe, a meditation center open to everyone, regardless of religion. The temple was not something he planned. It grew naturally, like a tree, through people spontaneously donating money and labor. From this experience, Singer realized solitude is beautiful, but service is greater. When you drop the only for myself attitude, life pushes you onto a larger stage to help more people. What does this mean for ordinary people? Many think spiritual practice is selfish withdrawal. Actually, surrender naturally leads toward contribution. You might help a colleague more at work, share your experience in the community, or simply listen patiently to your child at home. These small services accumulate into life's abundant return gift. Remember, surrender does not mean doing nothing. It means doing whatever life places in front of you with your whole heart. The temple's creation process was full of such details. It started with just a few people gathering in Singer's small cabin to listen. Later, someone suggested renting a bigger space, someone volunteered money, someone helped renovate. Singer never actively asked for anything, everything flowed naturally. He described it as the universe working through his hands. He simply stayed open and surrendered. The rest happened on its own. This offers great inspiration for us. Modern people often say, I don't have time for charity, or I'm not capable enough to help others. From the perspective of surrender, you don't need to do charity. Just say yes to life, and charity opportunities will find you. For example, on your way home you see someone fall on the street. You could walk past, but inside a voice says, go help. You listen, help them up, chat for a moment, and discover they are your college friend's father. A new family-like connection is born. Or perhaps online you see a plea for help and almost scroll past, but surrender makes you leave a kind comment. The person writes back saying your words gave them strength to carry on. You didn't set out to do good, yet you became light in someone's life. Service has an even subtler side. It purifies the inner self. When you genuinely give to others, self-centered thoughts naturally decrease. Singer noticed that after every teaching session, he felt calmer than before he began. Because attention moved from me to us, the inner noise grew quieter. Ordinary people can do the same. At home, listen more deeply to your partner's troubles instead of rushing to give advice. At work, think more about what the team needs instead of only chasing personal promotion. The more you do this, the lighter your heart becomes. After the temple was built, Singer discovered that service is not only helping others, it is also deep self-healing. Whenever someone came for help, he would first surrender inside, drop any idea of I must teach him something, and simply listen completely. Then words would flow naturally, often surprising even him with their depth. People frequently left saying, your words spoke exactly to my heart, and Singer knew it was not his wisdom, it was life's wisdom flowing through him. This experience can be practiced by anyone in daily life. When a friend pours out their troubles, don't hurry to advise. First, fully accept their emotions and simply say, I hear you. This must be really hard. Pure acceptance is often the greatest help. Many people find that when they truly listen this way, the other person discovers their own answers and the listener feels nourished inside as well. Service, it turns out, flows both ways. What you give, you also receive. Chapter 4. The Unexpected Business Stage. Where did the software empire come from? The most astonishing part is yet to come. Singer was fundamentally a spiritual seeker with zero interest in business. But in the 1980s, a doctor friend approached him with a request. Can you write a program to help clinics manage patient records? Singer's first impulse was to say no, but inside came a clear yes. So he taught himself programming. Within a few months, he built a working prototype. His friends loved it and started telling others. Word spread. Gradually, this small project grew into a company called Medical Manager, specializing in medical practice software. The company expanded rapidly. By 1997, it went public. In 2000, it received recognition from the Smithsonian Institution. In 2002, it was acquired by Web for a very large sum. Singer became a billionaire-level entrepreneur, yet he never treated any of this as a personal goal. Every step was surrender. Someone needed help, gives he responded. An opportunity appeared, gives he accepted it. Throughout the entire journey, he maintained his daily meditation practice. He never allowed external success to disturb his inner peace. What inspiration does this hold for ordinary people? Many assume that spiritual life and making money are in conflict. In reality, surrender can harmonize the two perfectly. You don't have to chase wealth. Just do the task in front of you with full attention, and wealth often arrives on its own. Key is never to claim success as my achievement. See it instead as life's gift. Then even in failure, you remain peaceful. In success, you stay humble. Some details of the company's growth are especially worth noticing. It began with one small software tool that solved the hassle of doctors' handwritten records. Clients gave feedback asking for more features. Singer kept improving it. Team grew from a handful to many people. He never gave orders from the top. Instead, he would ask everyone, "What does life need right now?" Employees felt this atmosphere and became increasingly proactive. The result was an exceptionally healthy company culture, very low turnover, and unusually fast innovation. This shows that surrender applies not only to individuals, but also to organizations. When a leader releases the need to control and trusts both the team and the market, the organization grows like a living organism. Ordinary people in the workplace can borrow the same principle. Stop focusing on how can I look good. Instead ask, what does this job need from me right now? When you pour yourself fully into the work, promotions and raises tend to follow naturally. When you fixate on the outcome, progress often stalls. Another important point, even at the peak of success, Singer never became inflated. He donated the majority of the proceeds to the temple and to charity. He continued living a very simple life. Why? Because surrender had shown him that money is only a tool, never the purpose. No matter how much you own, If inside you are still chasing more, you will never feel satisfied. When the chase drops away, you already have everything. At the height of commercial achievement, the sentence Singer most often reminded himself was, "None of this is really mine." The company, the wealth, the reputation, they were like borrowed clothes. No matter how well they fit, they would eventually be returned. He kept his routine of 1 hour of meditation every morning and every evening to make sure external accomplishments never captured his inner state. His employees felt this equanimity and became more relaxed and more focused themselves. The result was not only strong profits, but also an unusually harmonious human environment. This is a reminder for ordinary people. No matter what job you do right now, you can bring surrender into it. Don't treat your position as your identity. Don't treat your income as your worth. Treat the work as the task life has placed in front of you at this moment. Complete it wholeheartedly, then let go. If a promotion or raise comes, give thanks. If it doesn't come, give thanks anyway. Because your true value has never been outside. It lies in whether you are living authentically and whether you can remain peaceful inside. Chapter 5. Calm in the Storm. The ultimate test of facing an investigation. After 2005, trouble arrived. The company came under federal investigation. Someone alleged securities fraud. FBI agents raided the office. The media covered the story heavily. Singer found himself in the defendant's chair, facing the possibility of enormous fines and even prison time. He could have become angry, defensive, and fought back aggressively. But the rule of surrender remained in place. Accept whatever is here right now. He sat in the office watching the prosecutors present their accusations. A strong defensive impulse arose inside, but he chose to relax and release it. In the end, he signed a deferred prosecution agreement, paid $2.5 million, and the case was dropped. He regarded the entire episode as yet another gift meant to carry me beyond myself. During the process, he closely observed how fear would rise and then dissolve, how pride would collapse and then rebuild itself. Through this ordeal, he reached an even deeper freedom. No matter how chaotic the outer situation becomes, the inner being can remain at rest. This section is perhaps the most powerful. It proves that surrender is not a luxury for smooth times. It is a lifeboat in the middle of the storm. When ordinary people face career crises, family upheavals, or serious health problems, don't rush to fight. First, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would happen if I accepted this? Very often the answer is, the situation is not as terrible as imagined, and you're stronger than you thought. When the storm hits, the mind manufactures countless disaster scripts. I'm finished. My reputation is ruined. What will happen to my family? Singer's practice was, do not dialogue with those scripts. He simply watched them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Clouds come and clouds go. Fear comes and fear goes. He kept his body relaxed and his attention turned inward. Gradually, the fear lost its fuel and grew weak. Even more importantly, he treated the whole event as a teacher. The investigation revealed to him how much hidden pride still remained. I'm a good person. How can this happen to me? I've been so upright. I shouldn't be treated this way. Whenever those thoughts appeared, he released them. The releasing process was like peeling an onion layer after layer until only pure awareness remained at the core. In that moment, he truly understood external identities can be destroyed, but the inner I is forever unharmed. For ordinary people, this means that even in the darkest moments of life, you still have a choice. Be swallowed by fear, or you surrender to pass through it. Many people who go through divorce, job loss, or serious illness later say they actually live more authentically and more freely afterward. Why? Because all the things must be this way attachments were shattered. They were forced to face their naked self and then discovered, even without those attachments, I am still whole. Chapter 6. The 4 Levels of Surrender. From resistance to complete acceptance. Surrender is not something that happens all at once. Singer breaks down its mechanism into 4 clear levels to help readers practice step by step. The first level is awareness of resistance. The mind is always saying this shouldn't be happening or I don't want this. Simply becoming aware of that resistance already loosens the first layer of change. The second level is relaxing the body. Resistance shows up as physical tension, tight shoulders, knotted stomach. Deep breathing and consciously relaxing the muscles can break the emotional feedback loop. The third level is releasing into the heart. Shift your energy from the head down to the heart center and feel warmth and compassion there. Singer says the heart is the true home of surrender. The fourth level is trusting the flow. Believe that life has a higher intelligence and is guiding you along a path better than anything you could plan. These 4 levels form a ladder you climb one rung at a time. Ordinary people can practice every day. When something upsetting happens, first notice the resistant thoughts, then relax the body, then place your hand on your heart and silently say, I let go. Finally whisper to yourself, life knows a better way. If you do this consistently for a month, you will be surprised at how quiet your inner world becomes. Let's break the 4 levels down even more practically. Awareness of resistance is the most foundational skill. 99% of our suffering comes not from the event itself, but from resisting it. For example, after a breakup, the mind protests, why did he leave me? I'll never find anyone better. Once you become aware that these are just thoughts, not facts, they start to lose their grip. When the thoughts come and you don't follow them, they naturally fade. The second step, relaxing the body, is extremely practical. Emotions first register in the physiology. Anger speeds up the heartbeat and clenches the fists. Fear makes breathing shallow and tightens the stomach. When you deliberately take slow, deep breaths, shake out your shoulders or stretch your limbs, the physical tension releases and the emotional intensity drops immediately. Many people skip this step, thinking if I just understand it mentally, I'll be fine. But the body amplifies emotions. If you don't release the body, the mind rarely calms down. The third step, releasing into the heart, is a shift from head to heart. The head is dualistic, always comparing, judging right and wrong. The heart is unified and full of acceptance. When you move your attention from the busy mind down to the chest area and feel the warmth there, tears often flow not from sadness, but from the relief of letting go. Singer describes this as the sweetest moment of surrender. You stop fighting life and start embracing it. The fourth step, trusting the flow, is the highest art. It means being completely open to the unknown. Many people get stuck here because they fear, if I let go, won't things get worse? But Singer's experience is clear. The more you trust, the gentler life becomes. It never leaves you stuck in pain forever. It carries you through in the way most appropriate for you. Like a river that knows how to flow around rocks, you only need to follow the current. You don't have to blast through mountains yourself. You can turn these for levels into small daily exercises. For example, when you wake up, notice any lingering emotions or dreams from the night. While brushing your teeth, consciously relax your face and shoulders. On your way to work, place your hand on your heart and silently give thanks. When facing a difficulty, tell yourself, life will carry me through this. These tiny actions, done repeatedly, make surrender become second nature. When you practice the 4 levels long enough, a kind of background joy begins to appear. It is not wild ecstasy or excitement, but a steady, gentle sense of well-being, like sunlight that is always present behind the clouds, even on overcast days. Singer calls this the natural state once the heart center opens. You no longer need outside conditions to feel happy. Happiness becomes your default setting. The key to reaching this state is persistent releasing. Whenever an uncomfortable emotion arises, treat it as old energy leaving the system. Don't analyze where it came from or why it's here, just release, and release again. Over time, the inner space grows larger and larger. You can hold more of life's ups and downs without losing balance. For most people, this is not some unreachable mystical state. Just 10 minutes of daily practice can bring noticeable change within a few months. Things that used to ruin your whole day now pass in a few minutes. Major setbacks that once crushed you can now be met with calm, and you even begin to see the hidden gifts of growth within them. Chapter 7. The Perfection of Life, Eternal Freedom After Surrender. After more than 40 years of the experiment, Singer looked back and saw, from a small cabin in the woods to a billion-dollar enterprise, from deep meditative stillness to courtroom storms, everything was perfect. He never chased any of it, yet he received it all. He never resisted anything, yet he transcended everything. The end point of surrender is not getting what you want. It is no longer needing to want, because you have realized that life itself is already complete. You are simply the passenger, life is the driver. Trust the driver, and you are free. For ordinary people, the greatest gift of this book is this: you don't have to become a monk or quit your job to live in freedom. Just 5 minutes a day watching thoughts, accepting the present moment, doing the task right in front of you, and life will gradually reveal its compassion and wisdom. Surrender is not giving up, it is total engagement. It is not losing to fate, it is dancing with it. Now the question comes to you. Are you willing to try this experiment? Even if you start with something small, say yes to life just once and see where it takes you. Perhaps the next miracle is waiting in your next yes. When you truly surrender, you discover that life is no longer a pile of problems, it is an endless unfolding of gifts. The things that once caused you pain, when you look back, turn out to be stepping stones for growth. The things you desperately tried to grasp were always either meant to come to you or meant to pass on. The freedom that comes after surrender is the most complete ease. You no longer need to prove yourself, no longer need to defend against the world, no longer need to hold on to anything. You simply stay open, receive, flow, and watch life arrange everything in the most astonishingly perfect way. Many people ask, won't surrender make me lose motivation? Quite the opposite. Surrender liberates you from the pressure of I must make this happen and returns your energy to genuine creation. You become clearer about what you truly love, and you act on it more courageously because fear no longer drags you back. You realize that real motivation never comes from self-whipping. It comes from inner joy and love for life itself. Others worrying, won't surrender make me numb or indifferent? No, surrender actually makes you more sensitive and more alive, because you stop filtering the world through the mind and start experiencing it with your whole being. Joy becomes purer, sadness becomes more honest, but both will pass, so you can fully feel them without being trapped. Singer's lifelong experiment ultimately points to one simple yet profound: life is perfect. It does not need us to fix it, control it, or judge it. It only asks us to participate with awareness and with love. When you do that, you come home to the eternal freedom that was never truly lost. May you also have the courage to say yes just once. Then quietly watch how life answers you. Miracles are never far away. They are in your next breath and your next choice, in the very moment you are willing to let go